Okay guys, this could be considered a bonus video. I'm going to show you how to quickly create a list in Aweber and how to put that on your site. Alright, so log into Aweber or whatever contact manager you have. The process is similar. So let's go to create and manage lists and then create new list and then give it a name. So this one's going to be WSO Ultimate Guide to WordPress. And then we're going to call this the Ultimate Guide to WordPress. WSO. Fail. And you just fill out the from and the address. And then you can fill this part in too. Oops. Fill this part in too. Click on add. Get rid of this box because it always gets in the way. Click on save settings. Go up here, personalize your list. I need to learn how to spell. And we won't do any of the social media stuff, but you could. Whatever social media properties you have as far as Twitter and Facebook goes, you could click on one of these and make it the default, such that anytime you send a broadcast message, that broadcast message will actually get posted to your Facebook and your Twitter accounts, but we're not going to do that here. Okay, so save settings. Scroll back up and you go to your confirmed opt-in, edit this right here because this doesn't make any sense. This is actually going to go out to a customer, so it says we received your request for information from. So what we're going to do is we're going to just change this first line. Thanks for ordering the ultimate guide to WordPress. And then clean up the formatting a little bit. Make sure that your opt-in on forums is required, so it's on. And then put in your success page. So we'll kind of put in a W page here because I don't have this page on the blog on the site yet. So I'll copy that and make sure that I make a page for that. Okay, we're done with that. Then the next thing you want to do is you want to create a form, and we'll go bare bones here. We'll just load that, change the button so it's centered, get rid of the footer. You can put something in here simply by typing in and then we'll probably want to center that and save the form, go to the next step and call it form WSO Ultimate Guide to WordPress. And then your thank you page, I always like this smart video version, that's pretty cool. Then save the form, go up here to publish. You've got 3 ways to publish. I will install my form. You can hand over the form to your web designer, or you can have Aweber host the form. The easiest way that I found is actually just to use JavaScript, copy and paste that bad boy, and then go over to your WordPress site and paste that in. So we're going to do that right now. So what you need to do is you need to go to here to Appearance and then Widgets, and then drag this text widget. Then you just type in something like this, please register, and then type in your JavaScript there, click on Save, and we'll go take a look at the website and see what it looks like. So this is how you put a form on your website. That didn't take. Maybe it's still saving. Oh, it's down here. Duh. What we want to do actually is move it. So I actually put it down at the bottom. So you can just move it very simply by doing that. Then going back to your site, refreshing the page, and now it's at the top. Okay. Now there are some really cool plugins that you can get for WordPress that automate, or automate's the wrong word, that give you a pop-up. That's really cool. Now Aweber does pop-ups as well. If you go back here, now the neat thing with this is you can change your form and put something here like that, hit save, go back to your website, and you'll see that the form changes. Should have changed and put some text in there. There we go. So you can change your form on the fly without ever having to go back to your website, which is really cool. Okay, you see this part right here where it says type inline? That means that the form is going to be loaded right where you put it. You can also choose popover, lightbox, or pop-up. So popover hovers within the web page. It's usually unblockable. All right. Lightbox is exactly like that, except that it darkens the web page in the background. And then a pop-up opens in a new window. It's blocked by most browsers, so you really don't want to use that one. So this is the free version, so we could use it as popover like this. Let's just to show you. Okay, now let's save it. Okay, let's go back to the blog or the website and see what we have here. See how it just pops over? Your users can X that out if they want. Now you can also change the delay on the popover. So see how this says 0 seconds? That means it's going to pop up as soon as that page loads. We could make it like this, and then we can also say display once or show every 5 days, for example. But we're not going to do that. So we're going to always display it. Watch this slide from top. Okay, and we're going to change this to 5 seconds. Save the web form. Go back to your website. Reload it. See that? It slides in from the top. Pretty cool, right? Alright. That's all there is to this video. Thanks a lot. Okay, in this video I'm going to show you the way to quickly install all of those recommended plugins that we've already talked about. You've got a PDF in your sales package that has basically just a listing of all the recommended plugins that we like to use, and I'm going to show you a really quick way to upload all of those via FTP to your website. Alright, so let's get cracking. So the first thing you want to do is you want to go find that list and then click on each one in turn, and then click the little download button that says download version x.x.x and save that, and go back and do this one at a time. Save it. You keep doing this till you're done. Okay. It really doesn't take as long as it seems. All right, just keep doing this in turn. I'm going to pause this, get them all done, and then okay, we're wrapping up our last two. Download that, click OK. And actually, we're not going to do this one right now because it's not something you can download for free. It's something you actually have to go out and buy, download, and then install. But we've talked about that in another video. So now that we're done with that, we go find where all of our downloads were downloaded to. And mine are all here, so I'm going to put them all in a special folder. All right, I'm going to put them right here. And then I'm going to fire up my FileZilla and get going. And navigate to my domain. And then find my plugins folder. And you'll see just one plugin's installed there right now. Okay, so the first thing I need to do is I need to clean that up. And clean that up, I downloaded a couple of these more than once. Okay. The next thing you want to do is you want to unzip each one of these. So you can do this and extract here. You'll note that there's a folder down here, right? It's basically the extracted contents from this one down to this one. You can also select all of these and extract to here. And you notice how they all extracted into their own folder. Now, I don't know if these parentheses work, so I'll take that out. All right, now we're ready to go. So we can select all of these, the extracted folders, move them here. The Akismet one is already there, so we can overwrite that. And this will take a little while. There's 500 plus files to upload. So I'll pause here. So as we're uploading files, you can see that we're down to around 200 files left. But I want to mention a few benefits of doing it this way. Number one, when you access these recommended plugins via this list right here, and you click on them, you're going to get the latest, most up-to-date version. That's benefit number one. Benefit number two is you can do this upload a lot faster than you can install each individual plugin one by one through the WordPress dashboard. This may seem like it's taking a long time, but it took less than a minute. So that's important, and it's not nearly as tedious. You saw the 3 steps. I think it was 3 steps. 3 steps. 1, access the page, make the download, save it, go get that download. It's right here. Put it where you want it, right here, and then extract it like this. And then the next step is to take all of these folders and just drag them into your plugins folder. That's it. That's a really nifty way to do this. You're always going to get the latest updates, the latest plugins. You're not going to have to worry about any of that kind of stuff, and it's just a lot less tedious. All right, that's it. So after you install all of those plugins from the recommended list, which is this, you're going to find that you need to activate them. So there's just an easy way to do that. You can just click that box there, click activate, click apply. I've already done that. But you'll also notice after you do that that you're going to get some warnings here. And the first warning I want to talk about is notice Shareaholic needs to be configured. Please visit the plugin options page and set your preferences. So some of these plugins need to be configured and some don't. Shareaholic is one of them, and it's this one down here. It's called Sexy Bookmarks, and it's a really good social media type plugin that you're going to want to put on your website. So let's click on plugin options page, and there's a lot of stuff here. There's really not much you have to do up here, but down here you do. So let's just look at this real quick. By default, Shareaholic has these buttons checked. You can check any other ones that you want, like NetVibes or Ning or Squidoo or whatever. Don't go overboard. If you go overboard, your website's going to look kind of weird. Let's go to the website and I'll show you what this looks like. So here's our sharing is caring. Get Shareaholic for Firefox. Okay, so I've done this, and what you want to do is include the like button set just above the post. You always want to say yes. And include Facebook like button, yes. Include the Google +1 button, yes. And button alignment could be left aligned or right aligned. Button style can be standard buttons or box. I like buttons. And then show counter for the +1 button. That's always good. So this is what it's going to look like right here. Let's show you what the standard looks like. See how that looks? See how it changed? Buttons, box. Okay. Box is pretty nice too, but it takes up more vertical room than you really want. So I like buttons because it spreads everything out across the screen horizontally. Doesn't take up a lot of content space. So include the like button set below the post. You always want to say yes. So you want yes on both. Studies have shown that when people include the buttons, the like buttons, and the +1 buttons above and below the posts, they get a lot more likes and a lot more +1s than if they just put the buttons on the top or the bottom. It's not necessarily twice as many, but it's more, and more is better when it comes to social media. Okay, so show share counters, that's fine. Choose all the recommended settings. Scroll on down. Twitter options. That's fine. You can customize this however you'd like. You can also use a shortener for your Twitter options or not. And then go down here and override styles with custom mods instead. No. You don't really need to do any of this. What you do need to do is pick one of these kind of handwritten looking things. I don't really like any of them, but I'll choose share the knowledge. And then for menu placement, menu location in relation to content, above content, below content, you always want this below the content. You don't want to encumber people too much with, too much extraneous stuff that doesn't really apply to the content that they sought out in the first place. You can also choose whether or not to put this functionality on posts only, pages only, index only, posts and pages, the whole gamut. I choose all. And then you can choose to show this in your RSS feed or not. I would say yes. And then click Save Changes. And you'll notice that that warning is gone. Let's go back and reload this page, and you'll see what this looks like. Alright, so you'll see the like and the +1 buttons here, and the like button down here, and all these buttons down here that you chose here. Okay. I I will deselect some of these because I don't think you need all these. It's too much, and some of these don't matter anymore. I don't necessarily have a set list of properties that you should use, but choose the ones you like and the ones that you've had some success with, or the ones that you have some personal experience with. That would be my recommendation. Then go back and save changes. Take a look at what it looks like, and see there's just a few things here. You can add it to Squidoo, post to Posterous, send via Gmail, add to LinkedIn, post to Twitter, and post to Facebook. All right. So if you want to see what looks like, well, I'm not going to log into Facebook, but you get the gist of it. And then you can +1 it. That's me. That's about it for Shareaholic, or what they call sexy bookmarks. All right, we'll move on to the next video. So the next plugin that you have to configure is the all-in-one SEO pack, and you can see that right here in this big red box. So go to the admin page to enable and configure this plugin. So when we do that, we'll see some stuff here. You can join the mailing list and subscribe, donate, all that good stuff. The meat of the plugin is down here. Plugin status, enable it. Okay, here's where it gets strategic, and you have to think about search engine optimization and all that good stuff. The reason people find your site on the web is through a search engine. They're looking specifically for something, and if you supply it to them and you do good search engine optimization on both on-page and off-page factors, you will rank for those keywords, and you most likely will get a chance at getting a click. So all-in-one SEO, the all-in-one SEO pack is great for on-page SEO. So what you have to think of is, what are my keywords? And hopefully you've done this ahead of time. Hopefully you did this long before you even picked a domain name, because as we've said before, your keywords drive everything. It should drive what you choose for your domain name. It should drive what you choose for your for creating content, tags, categories, etc., etc. So, being that the name of this website is The Ultimate Guide to WordPress, you may want to make this home title The Ultimate Guide to WordPress. So let's do something real quick. Let's go look at the website. And see up here it says The Ultimate Guide to WordPress instruction site. This is kind of a demo site, all right? That's why it's called that. But we can go here and update the options and see if there's a difference in the way that menu looks. Up here, this is the title bar. So this is what Google and Yahoo and Bing will ultimately call your site. All right. So you notice how it changed to The Ultimate Guide to WordPress? That's strictly because I entered The Ultimate Guide to WordPress in the home title. Okay, home description. This is the ultimate guide to everything there is to know about WordPress. Okay, why is this important? Your home description is the text that Google and Yahoo and Bing and other search engines are going to use to describe your page in their search engine results pages. So let's go to Google and we'll type something in, internet marketing. Okay, let's just pick the first one. This one right here. Let's pick this one. Internet marketing, Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia. Okay. This is the title, and we'll go check it out in a minute. But this is the title. this is the URL, and this is the home page description. Okay, so let's go look at that. Notice how this text is exactly the same as this text. Notice that the URL is the same thing, and notice that, well, you won't really see this anywhere on the site. Actually, you do. So what Google does is they do two things. Number one, they will take whatever you give them for your home description and use it. Or if you don't have a home description, they will make their best guess. And their best guess usually is the first few words of the first paragraph. So it'll be something like this. Notice that it stops at of right here. Okay, that's important to know. You want to get your whole quote-unquote sales pitch out there in, I think it's 160 characters. The important part here is that this description here and here and here, etc., is really your only chance in the search engine results pages to convey a selling proposition that somebody will look at and use to choose between this option, or this option, and so on and so on. Okay, so enough about that. Home keywords, as far as Google is concerned, they don't really look at keywords. They don't look at meta keywords anymore. But you never know when a new kid in the search engine field is gonna take over or come to the forefront. You know, 12 years ago, Yahoo was it. Nobody had heard of Google. Then Google came along, and Google's it. Somebody else is going to come along. It's just a matter of time. And that search engine might actually use home keywords again. So it's not a bad idea to put home keywords in here, because it serves at least two purposes. I usually put 3 to 5 in this box. Okay, the purposes it serves. Number one, as alluded to before, an up-and-coming search engine or one of the existing search engines may start using home keywords again. That's a possibility. Number two, putting keywords here, your top 3 to 5 keywords, really reminds you what your website is all about. If you were to boil down into 3 to 5 keyword phrases what your website is about, this is where you're going to put it. Keeping that in mind, it's always going to help you write content because you're going to focus on those 3 to 5 keywords. And as you get more content, you can kind of go outside of that and choose long tail keywords to concentrate on. But for now, you really want to focus on these 3 to 5 keyword phrases. All right. Typically, I leave everything else as is. But you can change anything here, and I don't recommend it. Everything stock and default is great. These are the 3 main boxes. Make sure you enable it, and then go down to update options, and you're done. Okay, we're on to the next video, and this one is about Akismet, and you'll notice that prior to configuring Akismet, you get this note here. So let's go to Akismet. The easiest way is right here by clicking on this link. What you need to do is get an API key, and if you don't know what an API key is, you can click on this and this will tell you. But here's how you go get it. So click on that link, click on this button, and choose the free one. And you can make it 0 if you want. All right, fill in your first name, last name, email, and confirm email. You can click or not click this and click continue, and you will be emailed an API key. Once you have that API key, you can then go back to this field, paste it in, update options. Okay? Since I already have an API key, I just paste mine in, click update options, and we're done. That's it for Akismet. Now I do want to make a special note here. Akismet is awesome. It is probably the best plugin you can use for your WordPress blog, bar none. It really handles spam comments well. What you'll find is that as your blog gets more popular, or even if it's not popular, there are automated programs that go out and find open, quote unquote, open commenting blogs. And WordPress, is a blog type content management system. So what you'll find is when Akismet is turned off or deactivated or not even present, you'll get a lot of comments that are complete and utter baloney. They don't add to the conversation, they don't make sense, people are just trying to get a backlink. So you want to avoid that. The best way to avoid that is by installing Akismet. It will cut your spam comments by 95% as a rough estimate. Alright, so use Akismet, install it, get this API key, update your options, and you'll be good. The next plugin we want to take a look at is called GoCodes. And it's a really neat plugin. It's a redirect plugin for WordPress that you can actually use quite easily to redirect affiliate links to a sales page or a sales letter or whatnot. Let me show you how that works. Okay, the first thing you need to do is go to Tools and then GoCodes. And there's 3 fields you need to fill in. Okay, the first one is the redirection key, and you're going to say, for example, WP twin, like that, and then paste in your target URL, which is this. I like to count the hits, so I check this box, and then I add a redirect. Okay, there's one in here that's put in by default. I get rid of that. So hit delete, and then make sure you go up here and say, are you sure you want to delete this redirect? Yes. And that's it for part number 1. Part number 2 comes down here in settings and GoCodes. And you simply put in a keyword here. It doesn't matter what it is. I always choose Go. You can also choose to no follow GoCodes, which means you're going to keep more of your search engine link juice to yourself. It doesn't really matter. I think that's overrated. So click Save Settings and you're done. So what happens is you actually get a nice looking link like this right here, rather than this uglier affiliate looking this affiliate link. So this actually looks like it's coming from your site. So let's go take a look. Paste that in the URL bar, and you'll notice that we get to the WP Twin website. Now, if somebody clicks on that link and they actually buy this product, you will get credit for it. And I think the commission on this is like 50% or higher. It might even be 75%. Let's take a look. Affiliates. Yeah, you get 50%. So you get roughly $50 if somebody buys this, which is pretty cool. And that's it for that. Okay, the next plugin we want to take a look at is called Easy AdSense. And this is a neat little plugin that allows you to place AdSense ads on your website in certain areas that will earn you, you know, a little bit of money to a lot of bit of money, depending on your chosen niche. Let's go take a look at it. So it's called Easy AdSense Pro, and let's go take a look at the settings. And there's not going to be anything here right now, but we'll go over to Google AdSense and show you how to do that. So what you want to do is you want to insert your Google AdSense code in these boxes here. And I'll tell you what we recommend, and we'll go from there. So let's go to Google AdSense, and it's an AdSense setup, and it's Get Ads. Let's go to AdSense for content and view this as a single page. And we're going to use an ad unit first. Next we might go to a link unit, but we'll use an ad unit first. And we'll use their 300 by 250. Let's use the default Google palette. And then let's add a new channel, and we're going to call this Ultimate Guide to WordPress, UGWP. Okay, we're going to call this UGWP and submit and get code. So this is the code. You click inside the box, it auto highlights for you, copy it, take it back over here, paste it. Alright, and on this you want, actually, you know what, we don't want that there, we want that down here. We want this AdSense block to be in the middle of a post. Alright, and we want to make that align right text wrapped. And then we want to go back and get another ad. And we want to do AdSense for content. This time we want to do a link unit. And let's do single page, link unit. We want to make it the smaller link unit. And we'll use the default palette. And we'll go find our channel, add it, and then put that down here, UGWP, submitting a code, click in the box, copy, go back up here, do that. Now all the rest of them I suppress, okay? So suppress, oh, on this one I want it to align left, not text wrap, no wrap. Okay. Option on Google policy, 3 ad blocks. That's what we want. We want to maximize our number of ads that we can put on there. And then a couple other places you want to change some data. This used to default at 5%, but now it's defaulting at 0, so that's good. And then show no links to my blog anywhere. That's perfect. And then we just click on Save Changes. Let's go to the website. Now the ads won't appear for about 10 minutes. At least they won't appear in a way that are readable. So let's click on Media Example 1. Yeah, they're not showing. But you can see this little yellow stripe right here. That's where the ad's going to show up. And it's going to be that size. Okay. So let's do this. Let's create a bigger post and see how ads look in the middle of the post. And we're going to take something that we've already got and paste it in. So we're going to paste something back into here. And let's publish it. And let's reload that tab. We're going to pause it here for about 10 minutes and see if we can't find an ad for you. So here's that example post, and I'm just going to show you where the ad will appear. It's going to appear right here. That's the link unit, and then there's a block of ad here. So I'm going to pause again, wait a few minutes, and show you what the ads look like once they're live, because it takes Google 10 to 15 minutes to get these things online. Okay, I've refreshed the page and you can see that there are ads here and down here. Now, as more content is added and whatnot, these ads will become more contextually based, meaning if the content is about blogging, the ads will be about blogging. If the content is about, piece of exercise equipment, the ads will be about exercise equipment. All right, so that's it for Easy AdSense. It's a pretty cool little plugin. It works really well. You can earn a little bit of extra money on your website if you want, or if you're targeting a niche really hard, you're writing a lot of good content, you can make a lot of money. All right, that's it. Okay, welcome back. What we want to talk about now is pinging, and that is whenever you create a blog post, WordPress notifies some pinging services, they call them update services, that you have new content. And then those services come out and they take a look at your content, they bring it back in, they index it, they rank it. They're kind of like a search engine for posts, in a way. But the idea is that you can get your content out there to these pinging services, and because they're always constantly looking for content, the search engines go to them rather than to your website, and then they crawl through the links back to your website so that your content is spidered, indexed, and ranked quickly. So let's look at something first before we get into the specific plugin that I want to talk about. So let's go to settings and then writing, and then if you scroll down here, like I said, they're called update services. When you publish a new post, WordPress automatically notifies the following site update services. Okay, so this is a custom update services or ping list that I've put together of all the best update services there are. So let's click Save Changes, and then I'll show you this plugin. The reason this plugin is very important is if you're like me, whenever you create a post, it's never perfect. So you go in and change it 5 minutes later, and then 2 minutes later you see something that you want to fix, and then 3 minutes later you see something you want to change, or you misspelled something, or your grammar was poor, or whatever. You want to change the title. Doesn't matter. Every time you edit those posts like that, you're pinging these update services again. Update services will ban your IP, meaning they won't accept any submissions from your site if they see your IP, if they see that you're abusing their service. So what this plugin that I'm about to show you does is it stops WordPress from notifying these pinging services. Okay, so as you know, it's in our list of recommended plugins, and it's called CBNet Ping Optimizer. And it looks like this. So it basically takes that list that I just pasted in to the other part of the dashboard, looks at them here. You can enable pinging, which you want to do for sure, but then you also want to limit excessive pinging in short time. So ping at most one time within 15 minutes. That's the default setting. It works. Usually by the time 15 minutes are up, you have made all your edits. So click Save Settings and you're done. You don't really have to fear of that your IP is going to be banned by any of these update services now, because you're not going to ping them excessively. Okay, that's it. Okay, next up we're going to talk about making a sitemap using a plugin. And we're also going to show you how to get a Yahoo application ID, which is important for getting this sitemap up on Yahoo. So let's go to plugins and just make sure that it's the plugin we're looking for has already been installed, and it's called Google XML Sitemaps, but it's not necessarily just for Google. All right, so let's go down to Settings, and then go all the way down to XML Sitemap. And you'll see in this summary right here that the sitemap was last built on September 2nd at 7:05. It was zipped and built on September 2nd. Google was successfully notified, Bing was successfully notified, and Ask was successfully notified. You'll notice that the fourth major search engine, Yahoo, is not here. So what you need to do is go down to Basic Options, and you need to click this box and enter your application ID. If you don't have such a key, you request one here, okay? So basically, you click on this link, you sign in with your Yahoo account, and you fill all of this out, okay? Follow the directions, hit continue, you'll get a Yahoo application ID. Once you've got that, you go back here and you paste it in here like so. Then you scroll all the way down and you hit Update Options. Now if you want, you can actually rebuild your sitemap right now. And I'll show you how to do that in just a second. I leave all of these options as is. I'm one of those default kind of guys. So what you can do is you can rebuild the sitemap manually. Once you do that, you should see a new entry here. Yahoo was successfully notified about changes. That's a good thing. The great thing about this plugin is it's awesome for SEO. It's awesome for search engine optimization. Giving Google, Yahoo, Bing, and Ask your sitemap really helps those services spider, index, and consequently rank your content. Highly beneficial, highly beneficial. The next step you should take, however, is to look at these sitemap resources over here and go to the Webmaster Tools, the Site Explorer, and the Bing Webmaster Tools. And look at these, and what you'll want to do in the case of for Google Webmaster Tools is you'll want to add a site right here, and then we will type in the site address, which is and then click continue. Now, follow these instructions. You need to download this HTML verification file. Once that's downloaded, go get it. Put that over here. Go to your FTP client. And you need to put it in the root. Just drag it over here. Then go back to your website. You can confirm that it was there. So if there's text in this file, you know it's there. And then click Verify. And continue. And what you want to do next is look at all these options. This is not a course in how to use Google Webmaster Tools, so don't get too excited. I'm not going to explain all of this stuff in detail. But what you can do is click on Sitemaps and submit a sitemap. And then if you go back here, you'll see the address of your XML sitemap is right here. So just copy that, go back to Webmaster Tools, submit a sitemap, paste it in there, click the button, and you'll see that I've submitted 4 URLs. Now let's see if that's true. How many pages and posts do I have? So I have 2 posts, 1 page, and then the index page. So that's 4. So that makes sense. All right. So we can get rid of this. For Yahoo Site Explorer, it's kind of the same. So you type in your web address, add my site, and then you do basically the same procedure by uploading a verification file to my site, download it. There it is. Go back here, refresh. There it is. Go back here, drag that into root. Go back here, verify it's there. It's there. And then click on Ready to Authenticate. Oh, I left out something. You need to put this into the file. So we can edit this with Notepad. And I believe you have to put it between the body, like that. And then go back here. Drag it back over. Just verify that that happened as planned. Yeah, there it is. Okay, good. Now we can go back here. Click on here. Click here. Oh, note that it says verified, so that was good. And then you can type in sitemap.xml, and it is a website feed. Add the feed, and once you're done with that, you're done with Yahoo. And it's here. Interestingly enough, it says pending submission to Microsoft. So we're not even going to bother with Bing. We can get rid of these. And just know that your website is now set up with an XML sitemap that is going to help you immensely. Every time you add content, that sitemap is going to get updated and it's going to get sent out to those 4 services. That is extremely awesome. That's good. That's a good combination of on-page and off-page SEO working right there. That's going to help your website rank well for your keywords immensely. I wanted to show you a nifty little way to get email for your new website through Google Apps. So what you need to do is go to Google, type in Google Apps, and this doesn't cost any money. Choose Google Apps Free, click the Get Started button, and then enter your domain name. And then click Get Started. And then fill all this out. Make sure that you check this box, and you can say no to most of these things. And No, and then click continue. And then your username is going to be info. Make it simple. All right. And then pick a hard to guess password. And then try to solve the CAPTCHA, which is always hard. And then make sure this is checked because you want the new stuff to come in as soon as possible. Yeah, I messed up the CAPTCHA. All right, we'll try again. Let's hope this one works. Sometimes I have to try 3 or 4 times before I get it to work. Okay, now the next thing you want to do is you want to verify domain ownership. And the way you do that is by clicking next and next, and you want to download this file, and you want to go find that file, and you want to go to your domain, it's right here. And then you can leave everything as is. What you want to do though is you want to change this all the way down here on MX Records, edit, and paste in that entry that we just had. You have to take out the period on some cPanels. So click edit, and you should be all set. Let's go back here, click up here, go to the inbox, and we're getting email. Okay, here's an intro email, how to get started, and all that stuff. Now I want to talk to you about one aspect of social media, and that is you want to make it very simple and very easy and very quick for people to like your site, or to comment on your site, or to share your site. So here's how you do that. And we've already alluded to it when we installed the Sexy Bookmarks plugin. So as you notice on the site, we have a Facebook icon, a Twitter icon, a LinkedIn icon. We can send via Gmail, post to Posterous, or add to Squidoo. We also have these buttons right here, the like and the +1. Okay. You notice that we put the like and the +1 at both the top and the bottom of the post or the page. You can do it on posts, pages, or both. Let's go to a post. So here's our example text, here's our like button, here's our +1. Make it very easy, it's just one click. If you're logged into Google and or Facebook, you can click either of these links and they'll work. Obviously you have to be logged into Facebook for the like button to work, and you have to be logged into Google for the +1 button to work. Alright, then we've got these icons, so it's very simple to send things to these social media sites. As you remember, or may remember, there's a whole lot of places that you can add to that Sexy Bookmarks plugin. They're all here, so that's cool. So the bottom line is you want to make things very, very easy for people to share or like or +1. You know, anything that you can do with social media to make it easier for your viewers to share that content with others is awesome. So keep that in mind. Okay, the second aspect around social media is syndicating your content. The idea being every time you post something to your website, you want that content to be syndicated as much as possible to as many places as possible. Now, in the last video we talked about making it extremely easy for your visitors to share content for themselves. What we're going to do now is make it so that your content, once you make a post or a page to your website, all of that content gets syndicated out to various social media sites. So I'm not gonna go through the entire process, but I'm gonna show you in concept how to do it. And the trick here is to use a tool, an online tool called Hootsuite. It's this guy right here. So what you want to do is you want to go here, scroll down to settings, and choose RSS Atom, and then choose social networks, and you want to add a social network. Okay, so this is connect with Twitter. Alright, let's go to Twitter and create my account. Here's the account. Let's go to email, confirm your Twitter account, click on the link. Okay, so Twitter's good to go. Alright, go to Hootsuite, connect with Twitter. Authorize the app. And it takes a few seconds for this to work. Okay, so Ultimate WP is set up. Now you want to do the same thing with Facebook. Add social network. Go to Facebook. Connect with Facebook. Log into Facebook. And allow. So now it's going to ask you which Facebook fan page. So you have to find it. This might be kind of hard. That's the first one. So click on that icon and then finish importing. And then you're done. So what I've done here is I've syndicated your content out to your Facebook fan page and your Twitter account. You can do a whole lot of other things here too. Chief among them is using a service called ping.fm. If you set up ping.fm ahead of time, create a bunch of accounts at different social media sites, and then tell Ping to syndicate whatever gets posted to it out to those, dozens and dozens of sites, you can set Hootsuite up in kind of a daisy chain fashion, such that whenever you create a blog post, Hootsuite picks up that blog post via RSS, which is the next step we have to take. And then what happens is Hootsuite pushes that content out to your Facebook fan page, out to Twitter, and out to ping.fm. Once ping.fm gets it, it syndicates all of that stuff out into all those other social media sites you set up. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. Let's go to the next step. So we go to RSS Atom, we add a new feed, we type in the feed URL. So typically the feed URL for a WordPress site is the domain name, /feed, and then you tell it what profiles to send to. So we had what? The Ultimate Guide to WordPress, and we had a Twitter account too, Ultimate WP. We're just going to do those for now. So there are the icons. Check this feed for new posts every hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 6 hours, 12 hours, or 24 hours. Depends on the interval at which you create content. I would suggest to go with an hour, 2 hours, or 3 hours, because I don't like to wait. So I go with an hour, 5 posts at a time. You can say, you can prepend text to each message that says new, and then you can use a URL shortener like ally.com, ally.ly, and then you click Save Feed. Once that's done, anytime you create a blog post or a website piece of content, that content is going to get syndicated, in this case, out to Twitter and Facebook. If I were to set up ping.fm or any of these other social networks like LinkedIn, WordPress, MySpace, Foursquare, or Mixi, I'd have content syndicated all over the web. That serves at least two purposes. Purpose number one is more people will have a chance at seeing your content because they may look at Twitter but not Facebook. They may never go to your blog. They may go to LinkedIn and see updates there because they're business minded. So you're going to get more people to see your content. Therefore you'll get direct traffic from that content syndication, because the idea being people are going to see that content, they're going to like what they see, they're going to click through to your website. So now you have a new visitor. The second way it benefits you is every time there's a link from one of those syndication sites back to your site, that's called a backlink. And because most of these social sites have high authority, lots of traffic, high page rank, lots of their own backlinks, all of that stuff contributes to boosting you in the ranks for your chosen keywords. So that's why it's really important to continue to make content that's based on your keywords and keyword phrases. All right, so that's content syndication in a nutshell. Okay, so the next step in using WordPress is adding or editing pages. So we can write new pages or we can edit existing pages. Well, since this is a brand new site, we don't have any existing pages. So go over to Pages, click on All Pages. Actually, there might be one page here. It's a sample page. We'll get rid of that one. And then we'll add a new page and give it a good title like About me, and then say something about yourself. Hi. So we type this in. Hi, I'm your name here, and I am a full-time stay-at-home dad who knows a lot about WordPress. So there are only a couple things you need to do. Now this one is theme specific, so I could change my layout for this page because my theme allows that, but most themes don't allow that. I can also add in a title with my all-in-one SEO pack plugin and a description, keywords, attributes, and labels and stuff like that. For now, we'll just create the page and then we'll go back and edit the page. You can also choose from different types of templates. 99 times out of 100 you're going to choose default. And then you click Publish. And I want to draw a distinction here between pages and posts because this is important. Think of pages as content that rarely changes, whereas posts are content that changes quite frequently. Meaning, if current events, if you're typing about a current event, something's going to happen tomorrow, something happened yesterday, that's probably best as a blog post or as a post. Whereas your About Me page, earnings disclaimers, terms of service, contact page, all of those kind of things should be pages because they don't change very often. Yes, you might change your email address, but that content is not going to change, and it's not really topical. It's evergreen. It lasts forever. So that's all there is to adding a page. Let's go to all pages and look at the view. There should only be one page there. Now let's go edit that. And we can actually put my name here and then update. Now, all of these icons do exactly the same things that they do in a post. Pages and posts really aren't any different where WordPress is concerned, except in menu functionality. And that is, pages can get added to menus, whereas posts don't get added to menus. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. But for example, if you wanted to make this bold, you could easily do that by clicking this. If you wanted to create an H1 tag, you can just do this. If you wanted to, paste in some text, you could do that. I didn't do that, but you could. And then just click update when you're done. Okay? That's really all there is to pages. Okay, moving on. Okay, the next step in using WordPress is to actually moderate comments. So let's go take a look. There's already one comment kind of installed by default by WordPress when you install it. So let's go to comments. And you can see there's a comment here, and let's kind of look at the what's included in a comment. There's quote unquote the person's name, their URL, when the comment was submitted, the comment text, what page or post the comment is about, and then you as the moderator get to either approve or unapprove, reply, do a quick edit, call it spam, or just throw it away. So the way we set up our comments earlier was we had everything go into a moderation queue. So this comment should actually come in like this, and then if you think this is an okay comment, you would just click on approve. So let's do that. And let's also say that you want to reply to your visitor, because the really neat thing about blogs is the interactive nature of them. And that is, you can almost have a near real-time conversation with your visitors. So if they make a comment based upon one of your posts, you can reply to them and get a conversation going. That's really cool. So let's just click on reply and say, thanks, please stop by. And contribute. Something easy like that. Then you click reply. Now, if there was something in this comment, like sometimes your commenter will misspell a word or whatever, and it was just a mistake. You're not really trying to change their content, because I'm not big into censoring comments. You can edit the comment, and edit and quick edit give you roughly the same kind of functionality. I'll show you the quick edit in a minute, but let's just say that they spelled just wrong. Okay, let's say they spelled it like this, because that's typical. That's a typical typo, JSUT instead of JUST. You just go in, change it, update the comment. You can even change whether it's a pending or a spam comment. You can change the name or the email address or the URL. There's a lot of things you can do there. So we click update comment. I'll show you what a quick edit looks like. And that's, if you look at it, it still has the name, the email, and the URL, and then the comment. The only thing you can't really do is change the status of the comment from approved to spam or trash or whatever. Okay, so update comment, and that's really all there is to comments and comment moderation. So another facet of using WordPress is a user configuration and user administration. You can add users and you can edit users. So let's begin. So let's go to our dashboard and then go to users and see how there's an all users, add new, and your profile. So let's look at all of those in turn. So all users, right now we only have one user set up, and it's admin. If we wanted to add a new user, we could do that simply by doing this. We could say the name is Bill, and it's bill@gmail.com. First name is Bill, last name is Smith, website is whatever. Sure. Create a password. Oops. Make sure you create a secure password. All right. I use a password manager for doing this called LastPass. And basically you hit a couple keystrokes and it creates a password for you and you're off to the races. A neat thing here is if you check this off, send this password to the new user by email. So WordPress will actually send an email to this address with this password in it. And you also want to set the role. So there are subscribers, administrators, editors, authors, and contributors. Typically, in a small website, you're going to have administrators and maybe editors, but that's about it. Subscribers will be anybody who registers on your site. So there will be three basic kinds of users. And typically, 99% of the time, you're really only going to have two. You're going to have admins and subscribers. All right. So we're going to make this person an admin, and then you just click on Add New User. And you can see there that the person is here. For now, I'm going to delete this user. And when you delete a user, you have a choice. You can delete all posts and links that that user's created, or you can attribute any posts and links that user created to another user. In this case, the only other user is admin. But it doesn't really matter in this case because that user never really created any kind of content. So then click Confirm Deletion, and you're done. So we've shown you all users, add new, and then let's look at your profile, which is going to be my profile in this case. There's a few options here that you can change. There's a visual editor, which you can disable the visual editor when writing. I never change any of this stuff really. The only thing I might change is I might put my name here, Tom Smith, and then my nickname could be Tom instead of admin, and then I could say show my name as Tom, and then I could put in Tom at whatever, right? And then my contact info would be my website, my instant messengers, Google Talk. You could put a bio here, it doesn't really matter. You could change your password here, and these are theme specific settings here, so it won't really apply to you. And then when you're done, you can just click Update Profile. That's it. All right, that's all you really need to know about users. All right. Okay, so the next thing we want to talk about is tools. And there aren't a lot of tools here in WordPress, but they are pretty powerful. So one of the tools that's really cool is this press this bookmarklet. You can drag that up into your bookmarks, and if you go to another page like, I don't know, Google News, and let's just click on State of Emergency in New Orleans, we can press this and it gives us the title and it gives us a link, and then we can write about it, and if we'd like we could publish that. Then we can go here and go back to our posts and take a look at it. You can also view it. This is what it looks like on our website. Okay, and there's the link. Okay, that's a pretty cool little feature. You don't have to do any typing. The next tool we want to look at is import. And import's pretty cool because a lot of us start out blogging on third-party free blogging platforms like Blogger or LiveJournal or wordpress.com. And if we do that, we can actually export from there and import into our new self-hosted WordPress website. So for example, for Blogger, you can install the Blogger importer to import posts, comments, and users from a Blogger blog. For WordPress, you can install the WordPress importer to import posts, pages, comments, custom fields, categories, and tags from a WordPress export file. So this is pretty powerful. There's nothing that can be said for the ease of use that these utilities offer. So I would check these out if you're trying to move a current blog over to a wordpress.org self-hosted blog. Now, conversely, you can also export what you have here in your self-hosted wordpress.org website to a file format that's compatible with almost every other blogging application out there. This is pretty handy too. As you can see right here, your file gets saved in an XML format, and it will contain your posts, pages, comments, custom fields, categories, and tags. Once you've saved the download file, you can use the import function in another WordPress installation to import this site. So if you want to go from one WordPress site to another, this is the way you do it. You export what you have, you go to your new site, and you import what you exported. Okay, and you can choose what to export, all content, posts, or pages. Then you just click on the download export file, you're all set. Alright, GoCodes right here is installed after we install the GoCodes plugin. And basically that's, we've already talked about that in another video, but if you're an affiliate for, increased hair growth product X, you can type in product X here. And then you can type in your affiliate link here. It might be bald be gone /af equals 132.4. Okay, it might be something like that. And then you want to count hits. You want to add your redirect. And now if you want to link to that product, you simply do that. You could go up to a post. You could add a new post. You can say, can you really regrow hair? And then you would type some stuff. For more, click the link. Show you a neat little thing here. Use this little eraser to remove formatting. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. In that case it didn't. So we can get rid of the small tag. Get rid of the small tag. Go back here. Type in our little caret. Make our hyperlink into something that's clickable. Add the link. Publish. Go to the website, click on the link, and you notice that the link says, it looks like it's a link coming from our website with just a little trigger called go, and then the redirect key. Obviously this link won't work, but you knew that. So that's it for tools. Okay, there's one last thing to talk about when it comes to the Ultimate Guide to WordPress, and that is updating WordPress. There are two basic parts to update. One is the core WordPress, and that consists of files and database, as well as updating plugins and themes. So let's hit core WordPress first. Let's go take a look at our dashboard. Core WordPress, if you're on your dashboard, will tell you that it needs updating. WordPress 3.2.1 is available. Please update now. What you'll want to do is either click on Please Update Now, or you could go to Updates like this and do it all in one screen. So let's do one word of caution. Always use your backup method to back up your entire WordPress site before you do one of these updates of any kind, whether it's a core update to WordPress or an update to a plugin or a theme. I'm not kidding, things go wrong. So let's assume I did that, and then we need to update automatically. And it does its thing. It's pretty quick. It will tell you everything went well or not, and then go back to dashboard. Everything was successful there. And then go back to updates, and you can see that my Akismet comment spam plugin is out of date. So we can click on that and click on update plugins, and it's done. And then if we go back to WordPress updates, if any themes that we had installed were in need of updating, that would be notated right here. Anyway, that's it. That's how you update core WordPress and database files and the plugins and themes. All right. Thanks a lot. Like I said in the overview for backing up WordPress, I use plugins, and I use one in particular, and it's WP Twin. It was written or co-written by a couple of friends of mine, Will Matos, who's an IT genius, and Jason Fladlin, who's a master internet marketer. These guys, when they put out a plugin or some kind of software, you know it's going to work. So I stand behind this fully. I'm going to give you a link here in a minute. It is an affiliate link. If you buy the product through my affiliate link, I will get a commission, just FYI. But I love WP Twin. So let's go take a look at WP Twin real quick. This is the website. I'll tell you the URL, the special URL you can use to get this. But basically they're saying clone a WordPress blog in under 57 seconds. How it works. They give you a full tutorial once you buy the product. Then, so you create your clone, you deploy your clone to restore it. It's a phenomenal product. I love it. I use it every day because I make, websites all the time. So let me just show you how to do this part, create your clone, because I want to do that for this website. So log into your FTP client, go to your WP content folder, and then your plugins folder, and then go find, now you will have had to buy this first, go find your WP twin.php file. I'm sorry, you actually need to go to the root of your domain. Drag that into the root. Now the trick with this is you actually have to be logged into your dashboard in order for this to work. And then what you do is you change your URL to your domain /wptwin.php and you hit enter. And this form basically walks you through the entire thing. Now if you just have a website there and no additional folders that you've stored at your FTP site, don't click this box. And it tells you not to click that box unless you really know what you're doing. Then click the button below to clone the site. And it literally takes, a minute or two to clone an entire site. Even a big one might take no more than 5 minutes. So there it is. What you can do now is click on this link, save it. There it is. I have a complete clone of both the files and the database that are necessary to make WordPress run for this website. When you're done, to eliminate storage space, delete the clone. That deletes it off the server, and you're done. Okay, that's pretty simple. Going back here, there's Backup Buddy, which is another plugin for WordPress. It's a premium plugin as well. I don't have an affiliate relationship with them, but I've heard nothing but good things about Backup Buddy, and it looks like this. So here's their website. They can do the backups, the restores, and the migrates just like WP Twin. It's a little pricier. If you want 2 sites, it's $75. 10 sites, it's $100, or unlimited sites, it's $150. I think WP Twin is just unlimited for like $97. Yeah, unlimited for $97. But Backup Buddy is great. I would not ever hesitate to recommend that, except it costs a little bit more if you want to protect all of your sites. There is a free alternative, and I haven't used it. Full disclosure, I have not used it. It's called Xcloner, and you can get it for free from wordpress.org. I'll be flashing that URL up here in a minute. And you install it just like you install any other plugin, and you use it according to the instructions shown. Basically, you do the same thing as you do in WP Twin. You generate a backup, you store the backup, you save the backup, you move the backup in the restore script to a new location if you want to redeploy the clone, and you run the script. That's about it. So that's your free backup. The last thing I want to mention is you can do a manual backup. It's not that hard. It's just not a one button click kind of thing. So what you have to do is, it's probably best to go to your FTP client and copy all of these folders and all of the contents within them, and then go to your cPanel and go to your My PHP admin, which is the database administrative tool within your cPanel, and do a backup of the database. That is why way back up here I told you to record your database information. If you have more than a couple sites, you will not remember your database name or your username or your password. So you will need all of those things in order to back up your database. All right? So that's it. It's very important to back up your database and your files. If you don't, you're going to have a lot of grief trying to restore that thing from backups at your host, which they may not have a backup of your database. They may not have a current backup of your files. It's just going to be a real hassle if you can ever get any of your data back. So that's it for backing up. We'll talk to you in the next video. The next really important thing to do with respect to your WordPress installation is to have a backup plan. I can't tell you how many times a business has been nearly brought down, if not brought down completely, because they lost their website. Now, this is completely unnecessary because it's pretty easy to back up your WordPress website. You just have to know a couple things. So I typically choose cost-effective or free measures versus something that's going to be a lot of money or very complex. So I'm going to offer up three solutions for you, actually four, for backing up your WordPress website. And those four options really are: do it manually, or do it using plugins. And the plugins are WP Twin, which we've talked about before, Backup Buddy, and there's a free plugin on wordpress.org that proposes to do backups and restores completely free and painlessly. So what you have to keep in mind when you want to back up your WordPress installation is there are really two parts. WordPress contains files, and it also has a database on the back end. The database contains all of your posts, the data within your posts, within your pages. Any custom plugins you have may store data in a table, which is a part of a database. So it's very important that you not rely on your web host for a backup, because typically what happens is your web host, they do backups. They back up your files. They don't back up your database. So a WordPress website with files and not a database is pretty useless. So that's the overview. Next up, we're going to talk about WP Twin. So now we're going to do a video about using WordPress, and we're going to start off with posts. Then we'll continue on to media, links, pages, comments, appearance, plugins, users, and tools. But for now, we'll start with posts. We're going to talk about writing new posts, editing existing posts, and kind of talking about meta data around your posts. But for right now, we're going to write a new post, and I'll show you how to do that. So what you need to do is you need to go to your dashboard, click under Posts, the link Add New, and then you'll want to put in a very descriptive title, and this is where you want to be very creative and follow your keyword research findings. The idea being here that the URL of your posts matters a lot. In fact, the title is the most important thing you can do for your website from an on-page SEO perspective. So I don't have any prepared material, but let's just say my keyword is dog training. And for puppies. Let's go a little long tail there. And then you see that the permalink got put up, which is exactly as we had hoped. And then you just start typing away. And I'll show you some formatting and stuff like that. So I'm going to pause it here, write a few things, show you some formatting. Okay, I'm back, and I wrote a little bit of text here. So I'm going to show you how to format a few things. I'm going to make this an H1 tag, and you got to click on this little icon right here, and then choose paragraph and heading 1. Here's some sample text on the next line. Here's bold. You can do Control B, or you can click on this little icon here. Here are italics, Control I, or click on this icon up here. This is an H3 tag. You do that like this. And here's a hyperlink. We'll just google.com. And we can even tell it to open the link in a new window. So we click Add Link, and we'll put this under a category, or we're going to make one on the fly, called Dog Training. Click Add New Category, and then we can say Dog Training for Puppies. Dog Training, Puppy, Dog Training. Then hit Add. Go up here, click Publish, and then we'll view that post, see what it looks like. And it looks like this. So you can see here's our title, and up here you can see our title followed by the title of the blog or the website. Here's our H1 tag. Here's some bold, italics, an H3 tag, and a hyperlink. This is our category, and these are our tags. That's it. If somebody wants to post a comment, of course they can right here, and then click on post comment. That's about it as far as writing new posts. Next video is going to be about editing existing posts, and I think I'll put tags and categories on the fly in there as well. Alright, thanks. Okay, the next step we take in using WordPress as far as posts go, we just finished writing a post, so now we're going to go back and edit it. So let me show you how to do that. So from your dashboard, you click on All Posts, and then see how once you hover over the title of the post, a submenu comes up. Click on Edit, and you can change this to bold italics by just clicking on the B and the I, and you've got bold italics. You can change your categories. You can change your tags. You can get rid of one. You can add one. Puppy training. When you're done, click on Update. And then let's go back to All Posts. I can show you something about the quick edit. You can change your title here, your slug here, the date, the publish date. You can add a password to the post. You can change your configuration, post tags. You can disallow comments and disallow pings. You can change the status of the post from published to pending to draft, or vice versa. You can also make this post sticky, so if you're publishing this website as a blog, if you click that box right there, that post will stay at the front or at the top of the blog. And then you would click on Update. That's that for editing existing posts. Let's go to tags and categories on the fly. I've already shown you a little bit about this, but let's just go to Add New. And then we're going to say how to install a WordPress plugin. Okay. Type some stuff here. Alright. If we want to add a new category on the fly, we just do this, click on Add New Category, and then type in the name of your category, and then click on Add New Category. You can also put in any tags you want. Plugin, WordPress, that's enough for now. So you just added those tags on the fly. You can publish this, and this is what it looks like. How to install a WordPress plugin, the date it was published by the author. You can leave a comment. Here's the text or the content, filed under the category plugin and tagged with plugin in WordPress. That's all there is to it. Hi, in this video we're going to talk about media. Basically how you upload media, how you access media, and how you can add media on the fly, or kind of be proactive about it and add media before you start writing content. So let's go to our dashboard and we'll look at how to add some media. Click on Media, click on Library. You'll see that I have a few things in here. I'm going to delete those right now and show you how to add them. Okay, so there's nothing there. So let's add new by clicking here or here. Makes no difference. You select Files, and then we're going to select that button, and then you can change the title. The title is actually just based on the file name, but you can change the title, which is important. You want to change the title, the alternate text, and optionally the description. The title is very important for SEO purposes, as is the alternate text. You'll see here that if you copy and paste this file URL, there's the icon right there. Okay, so that's the actual path to that file. So if we click on Save All Changes, you'll note that we now have one media file in the media library. You'll also see that it's not attached to any posts. So let's go make a post. Let's click Add New. We're going to call this Media Example number 1, and we're going to put some media right here. Okay, so there's 4 types of media. There's images like pictures, there's video like something you'd find on YouTube, there's audio, which is like MP3s that you play on your iPod, and this one's basically other. So if you want to add a picture, you do this, and you'll note that on this box that appears, you can choose from 3 different places, and in a minute I'll show you a 4th one appears kind of magically. So you can choose from a location on your computer, you can choose from a URL, or you can choose from the media library. So since we've got something in the media library that we just put there, let's click on that. And then you see that the one thing that's in the media library, click on Show, and it shows you all the stats and meta around it. If we want to left align it, center align it, or right align it, or none, let's show you what center looks like. And then just simply insert into post. And you see how the icon or the picture is put right in the middle of the post. Okay, let's look at this piece right here real quick. If you click on that image, you can click this button and delete it, or you can click this button and edit it. And you can edit things on the fly. So again, you could change your title, you could insert some alt text, which I highly suggest. Here's your link URL again. You can put a caption on there, but if it's a small picture like this, the caption's going to be way bigger than the picture. That looks kind of silly. You can change your alignment here. In the advanced settings, you can actually put a border around it. So let's put a big thick border around it. 5, and then update. See how that big thick border appeared? Let's publish that and see what it looks like. We click on View Post. We have our little icon with a big thick border around it, and it is centered within the post. You can't look at this area here, the sidebar, as being part of the overall content. The content's actually in this box right here. Okay. Alright, let's look at another way to deal with media. So we in this post we actually went and found media that we already had uploaded. Let's go down here and add some media by clicking on that little icon. We can go to Select Files. Note that the default tab is from Computer, and also note that a new tab came up called Gallery. Anytime you create a post with some media in it, WordPress creates a gallery within that post that contains that media. So if we had 3 images on this page right here, if we had 3 images, let's just go ahead and add some. I'll show you. So from Computer, select Files. We're just going to add some more media here. Click on Select Files, and then we'll pick Support and Open. And then we would add in all this information. We're going to left align this one, going to insert that into a post, and then we're going to add one more. Select Files, pick that one, go there, enter in all the information, choose to right align this one, and insert into post. Okay, see how that works? Alright. Let's update that page, or that post rather, and refresh and see what it looks like. So you've got all 3 of your icons here. Okay, great. Now let's go back and add some more media, and note that the gallery says 3. Well, why does it say 3? Because we have 3 icons or 3 images already included in this post. So that's that. Um, if we wanted to add, for example, a video, watch what happens when we go here. We can choose a video from our computer, from a URL, or from the existing gallery, which would be kind of silly because it's not a video and it's already there. So let's go from URL. Okay, let's go to YouTube real quick. We'll pick some video, whatever this is, and we'll just copy and paste this. Turn off the sound first, and then go back here, paste in that URL, and then say example video number 1. Okay, insert into post. Now what's going to happen here is there's a link inserted to that video. Let's update, go back and look at the post. See, there's a link here, and when we click on that link, we're going to be taken to this YouTube video. Okay, that's that. Now you can do the same with audio or with other media, and by other media we mean anything that's not an image or music or a video. So it could be a PDF, for example. All right, you can add a PDF by clicking on this little link here. All right, that's really all there is to do with media. Okay, see you on the next video. Okay, the next step is to create or modify your links, also known as a blog roll. So let's go do that. Click on your links hyperlink right here and click on all links. By default, WordPress installs or adds on these links that are kind of self-serving, meaning they don't do you any good. So click this box so that all of these are checked, and then delete them all. Once you're done with that, we can add some new links. Now these are links, these are outbound links that may go to partner websites or reference websites or affiliate websites or what have you. I will show you how to add a link. So click on Add New. Click on the name for your link. This is going to be the text that appears as a hyperlink in your blog roll. So we're just going to call this one Google, and then we're going to type in the full URL like that. You can put a description in, and then you add it to your blog roll. You can add a new category. Let's do that, and we'll call this search engines, like that. And then I always have my outbound links open in a new window or tab. So click the radio button blank. You don't really need to pay attention to most of this stuff down here. And then click Add Link. Now let's go see if that link got added. It did. Okay. Let's go take a look at the links on your site. You're going to notice that you don't see them. What you need to do, and this is going to be shown to you more in depth on a following video, but you actually have to add your blog roll to a widget and your widget to your sidebar. So click on Appearance, go to Widgets, click on the primary sidebar, and all you do is drag your links over here, and you can choose whether to show all links or just links from your category A or category B. For now, we'll just choose category B. And then I never choose search link image or show link image, just show the link name. Don't need a description or a rating. Click Save. Let's go back to the site, reload that tab, and you see there it lists your blog roll under its category and with the link. You'll notice that when I click on this link, it opens a new tab. Alright, so let's add another link just to show you how this might work. So we're going to say Bing, And we're going to say bing.com, Bing search engine, and then we're going to put that under search engines, blank, add link, reload the tab, and there you go. Bing opens in its own tab as well. Now let's go back to that widget and tell it to show all links. Hit save. Go back to your add new links and let's type in something else like Wikipedia. And we're going to just add that to Blogroll. Or actually, you know what? Better yet, let's add another category and let's call this reference. Click on add. I want to show you how this works. Blank, add link, reload the tab, and see how the categories all get parsed out. So whatever's in my Blogroll category, whatever's in my reference category, and whatever's in my search engine category. Now notice that Google's listed twice. That's because we listed it with two Blogroll categories, Blogroll and search engines. Does that make sense? All right, we'll move on to the next video, and that's pages. Real briefly, we'll go over categories because I kind of talked about categories and tags in the last video. But categories are really just kind of a simple way for you to categorize or group your posts in your WordPress site. So again, using the filing cabinet analogy, if you get a bill in the mail and it's a magazine subscription and it's for National Geographic, you may file that bill in your magazine subscriptions category and you may tag it as National Geographic. So that's it. What you do to create a category is go back over to posts, choose categories, type in a name, and for this, the Ultimate Guide to WordPress, we could do it this way. Configuration, and then you don't need to do anything here, really. You can add a new category. Now you see the configuration is here. If I wanted to put a category underneath configuration, I could do this and say tags, right? And see how tags kind of nestles in under configuration per this right here. So let's go create a post by clicking on add new. We'd enter a title, we'd enter content, and if we were talking about tags, we could do that, and then we could put post tags of tags, how to logically tag your posts, etc., etc. Click add, see how the tags are added. When you're done, click on publish, and you're all set. All right, thanks. Okay, so the next step in configuring WordPress is actually to go to the settings in your WordPress dashboard. And there are 7 general categories of settings in that dashboard. So let's go take a look. So go down here, you're in your dashboard, go to settings, and you see general, writing, reading, discussion, media, privacy, permalinks. And as you add plugins, you may or may not get new setting links underneath your settings. So just FYI on that. But these are the default 7. So let's start on general. So you see your site title. That is the most important thing you can set on your website is your title. The second thing you can set here is your tagline. Okay, basically a little bit better description of what your website is about. Think in terms of keywords. In some themes, your tagline is appended to your title, such that when you look at your website way up here, the title you give your website as well as the tagline you give your website will all be up here in this upper bar. Some themes work like that, some themes don't. It's always a good idea to put something descriptive in here. If you want to save yourself a lot of grief, don't ever change these two entries right here. Put in an email address that you use and visit frequently. As a general rule of thumb, under membership, always check the box anyone can register, and then make the new user default role subscriber. You could make them an administrator, but that's dicey because now they have control of your website. And they can add plugins, they can delete plugins and content and all sorts of stuff. But if you make them a subscriber, you're okay. Change your time zone so that it's appropriate to where you live. Date format is fine. This is how the date's going to appear on your blog posts. Time format, different countries have different customs. Here in America, this is the way we do it typically. But sometimes we do it with an uppercase, sometimes with a lowercase. This is your standard military time, and you can also customize it. You can also say your week starts on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, all the way through Saturday. Typically, we start our business week on Monday, so that's what we call the start of our week. When you've got everything set there, click Save Changes, and you're done. We'll move on to the next thing. So the next step in configuring WordPress in your settings is under the writing category. Let's go take a look at that. We're going to fiddle with the settings, press this, post via email, remote publishing, and update services. So let's go take a look. So here we're in writing, and here are a few tweaks that I make. In the size of the post box, I always change it to about 27 because that fits my screen best. And that's the size that your post will appear in as you're writing it. I always leave these as default. All this stuff is default. Press this link you can drag up into your bookmarks, and it's pretty neat when you're surfing the web and you see some content that you want to blog about. You can just go to that website, copy some stuff, click the press this button, and you've got a blog post. I never post via email. I just don't do it. It's too much of a hassle. However, I do a lot of remote publishing through a Firefox add-on called ScribeFire, and you can just look it up. So I click both of these. That enables remote publishing. And then the most important part here is in update services, I delete that, and I go over here to my ping list, which I'm going to give to you as part of the package. Copy that, paste that in there, and save changes. And that's it for the writing settings. Okay, so the next step in configuring WordPress as far as the settings go is the reading setting. And let's go take a look at that. So if you're in your dashboard, go to settings, go to reading. And there's not a lot to configure here, so we'll make this pretty quick. You can choose to have your WordPress website act like a blog or as a regular website. If you want it to act like a blog, keep the default, your latest posts as the front page displays option. If you want to treat it like a blog, like a static website, click this radio button, choose a front page. It could be a squeeze page, it could be your intro page, it could be what we would consider your home page or your landing page. And then your post page, what you do is you make a page called blog. Don't put any content in it, just publish it. Come back here, choose this radio button, choose blogs under here. There will be an entry under here called blog, and then choose a landing, a front page, and then move on. Blog pages show at most 10 posts. I keep that default. Syndication feeds show the most recent 10 items. I keep that at default. For each article in a feed, show full text or summary. You can do either one. There are two schools of thought. To give customers what they really want, or to give visitors what they really want, I typically just keep this at the default, which is full text. However, if you want people, or you're encouraging people to subscribe to your RSS feed, but you want them to visit your blog regularly, choose summary. That way, whenever they get their news feed, they'll see something. You've got to write a good title and a good introductory, opening sentence, and that's what they'll see. If they like what they see, they'll click on the link to go to your blog. So, encoding for pages and feeds, I don't change anything here. Click Save Changes, and you're done. Next up in configuring WordPress under the Settings option is the Discussion topic. So let's go there and take a look. So go to Settings, Discussion, and again, a lot of these defaults are perfect. I don't change much, but I just want to go through each one of these kind of briefly and talk about it a little bit. So under default article settings, attempt to notify any blogs linked to from the article. That's cool. That's like a ping back. Allow link notifications from other blogs. Oh, ping back. Okay, that's cool. Allow people to post comments on new articles. That's perfectly fine. Other comment settings. This is where we might change a thing or two. Comment author must fill out name and email. I always make sure that's checked. Users must be registered and logged in to comment. If you check this box, you're going to get less comments and less interactions. So I would choose to keep that unchecked. Automatically close comments on articles older than 14 days. I would say that if you have a very busy, high traffic blog or website, you could check this, but otherwise you're going to find people, want to comment on a blog post or on a page, from a year ago. Enable threaded comments, that's fine. I never break comments into pages because I never get that many comments. If you have that many comments, awesome for you. I do like to have emails whenever somebody posts a comment and whenever a comment is held for moderation. And that kind of impacts or follows from this next setting, which is before a comment appears, I always check an administrator must always approve the comment, and comment author must have a previously approved comment. Otherwise, that comment goes into moderation, and then I get an email that says, hey, there's a comment here, you need to moderate it, you need to approve it or decline it or call it spam or trash it. So that's that. Comment moderation. Hold a comment in the queue if it contains, I always say, one or more links. This is usually a telltale sign that if somebody puts within their comment a URL, they're spamming you. Okay. When a comment contains any of these words in its content, name, URL, email, or IP, it will be held in the moderation queue. One word or IP per line. So you could put, curse words in here, typical bad language. You could put that and put one word per line. I don't usually use this comment blacklist. However, there have been occasions where I've needed to block somebody from making comments, and I don't even want them to go to moderation, or I don't even really want to look at them. So if I know their email address or their URL or their IP address or even their name, I can put that in here. Again, one word or IP per line. As far as avatars go, I don't really care. I don't change any of this stuff, and then I click Save Changes. That's all there is to that. Okay, the next step in configuring WordPress under settings is media. Let's go there. So we go to settings and then media, and there's really not a lot to change here, but the one thing you do change, you're going to want to change it. So I keep everything at default. If you're a professional photographer or something like that, you're probably going to use a gallery plugin like NextGen or something like that. So you really never have to worry about any of this kind of stuff. But what you do want to change is, see this checkbox right here? how it's enabled and it says organize my uploads into month and year based folders. Don't do that. Uncheck that. It's going to give you better search engine optimization results. It's going to get you better rankings in the search engines for your images. And you know what? When people search for stuff online, they don't really care when you uploaded it. They just care what it is and how they can get it. So then click Save Changes, and that's it. The next step in configuring WordPress settings is your permalinks, and this one is extremely important to get right. It's important for search engine optimization or SEO purposes especially. So let's go take a look, and I'll tell you why I suggest that you change your permalinks to this particular setting that I'm about to tell you. So you're in your dashboard, go to Settings, choose Permalinks, and by default, WordPress sets your permalink at this post ID number, which is great from a database perspective and from like a server and retrieval perspective, but it's horrible from an SEO perspective, as are the next three options. Day and name, it's better than the first. Month and name is, again, better than the first, but it's not ideal. Numeric is just as bad as the first. So we always choose a custom structure. And the custom structure is as follows. It is slash, parentheses, post name, not parentheses, percentage sign, post name, percentage sign, hyphen, percentage sign, post underscore ID, percentage sign, and forward slash. Let me tell you the reasoning. First of all, from an SEO perspective, search engine optimization perspective, the search engines really like it when your URL contains your keywords. It's been proven time and time again, and it's further been proven that your keywords towards the front end of the URL is better than your keywords at the back end of the URL. So the closer you can get your keywords, which in this case is your post name, because hint hint, as you name your posts, you're thinking of the keywords that you want to target, and you're using those keywords in your post. So that post name becomes your post title, which becomes your permalink, or at least part of your permalink. Now, the part after the hyphen, the post ID, that is to help us and to help WordPress figure out when we make a duplicate post, and by duplicate I mean it has the same post name. For example, I do this all the time. I may write an article that's called, 6 ways to increase your email list size. And then 6 months later, I'll write another post that has exactly the same title, different content, but the same title. Now, if I gave both of them the same title and I did not have this permalink structure, let's say, for example, I just had post name, WordPress would get a little confused. And it wouldn't really know what to do with that as far as assigning a permalink. It would actually just assign a permalink post name hyphen 2 if I made another one hyphen 3 if I made another one hyphen 4. In this case, what it does is it takes that post ID, which is inherent to the WordPress database that's on the back end that you rarely ever see, and it uses that post ID. Same difference, but this is a much better custom permalink structure from an SEO perspective for your website. Then click Save Changes, and you're done. Okay, the next step that you want to take in configuring your WordPress settings is privacy, and this is a really brief one as well. And by default, it's usually turned on the right way, but you always want to make sure that this is turned on the right way. So let's go to our dashboard and Settings and Privacy, and you want to make sure that the radio button that says I would like my site to be visible to everyone, including search engines like Google, Bing, Technorati, and archivers. You want to make sure that that is enabled, just like it is by default. There was a time when this was not the default. This was the default. But now the WordPress folks have probably got enough complaints that, hey, you know what, my site is never getting indexed and I'm never finding it in the search engines. It's because you had it made private, because this was checked by default. So if you know that's checked, um, I would like my site to be visible to everyone. Go ahead and click Save Changes, and you're done. There's one final thing you can do when you're customizing WordPress. We've already gone through themes and how to add themes or modify your theme, how to add plugins. The last thing you might want to do, and this is an advanced topic that we're not going to go into in depth, but you can modify your themes and your plugins, and you do that like this. So for example, if you wanted to modify a plugin, you could go to the editor, pick one of your plugins, and change the code in here if you're adept at that. You could also do it with the all-in-one SEO pack, which are the only two plugins I've got installed right now. You could go inside here, change the code, update the file, be done with it. But you better be sure that you know what you're doing with PHP code. The same goes for themes. You can edit a theme. And as you can see here, Genesis is chosen, but you can choose any of the themes that are already installed on your site. And you could choose, say for example, the footer. If you wanted to change the footer, you could do that by clicking on footer, finding the appropriate line of code that you want to change. It could be something as simple as, you know, the copyright or whatnot. You would find that, change it, update it, and you're done. So that's really all there is to that. Not going to get into the advanced stuff. I would always suggest that you actually hire a developer or somebody adept in PHP to do this for you. Also note that if you ever change your themes or your plugins or update them, odds are those files, all those changes you've made in those files will be overwritten, so you'll have to do it again. So always keep good track of what you've done. And again, another caveat is when you do make changes, if there's an update to a plugin that's substantial, meaning it affects the way the plugin works to a large degree, those changes you made to the plugin in the old plugin may not work with the new plugin. So just a word of caution. Anyway, that's it for this. Talk to you next time. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to use widgets, and they're pretty simple and pretty neat. Widgets are installed in your sidebar, which if you look at the site, this right over here is your sidebar. Okay, so some things are installed by default, but we'll go take a look at those widgets right now. So let's go here to Appearance, click on Widgets. See all these widget areas. The primary widget area is Search, Recent Posts. Here's your search, recent posts, etc. So you can take these out, you can put other ones in. So let's show you search. We can delete it. So it's gone. If we go back and refresh the page, this box should be gone. See how that worked? All right. Now if you want to add a widget, like let's for example, we want to add some text. Grab the text, drag and drop it to wherever you want to put it. We'll put it at the top so it's easier to see. And then you can say text, some sample text. And then we'll go back and look. And there's our sample text. Now if you want to be really creative, you can do something like this. You could put a hyperlink in there. Like so. Back over here, reload the page, and you'll see that Google's there, right? All right, click on the link, took us to Google. All right, another thing you could do here is you could actually put images in here with some other hyperlinks or hypertext, some other HTML. You can put any HTML in this box and it'll work. You can put JavaScript in this box and it'll work. If you want to minimize this view, you just select close. You're all set. If you want to add something to a different widget area, you can put it here. It's all very simple. Now, this theme only has one sidebar. It's right here. See how this is talking about different footer and widget areas and whatnot? This theme only has one thing here. All right. So that's it on widgets. Very simple, very straightforward. Okay, so the next thing I want to show you is menus. So if you go down to Appearance and then Menus, you'll find the following. Nothing's really here. You have to actually create a menu first. So we'll call this Top Nav, and then go and create a menu. And there still really won't be anything here. Let's take a look at the site. Because there are no pages. Menus and pages work hand in hand. You can add pages to a menu, and that will change the way your menu appears. So let's go make some pages. We'll make 3 pages. Page 1, page 2, and page 3. All right. Now let's go back and look at our site. See if anything's there. Nothing's there. Okay. So you actually have to go to Menus and add those pages to the menu. So watch what we can do here. Okay. Go down to Pages, select all, add to menu, and save the menu. Go back to your site, and what do you see? You see your 3 pages there, right? Okay. Go back to the menu, and you can actually rearrange these so that they're in order. You can even do this so that page 2 is a subpage of page 1. Let's go see how that looks. Okay, page 2 is a subpage of page 1. Page 3 stands on its own. So you can click on page 1, or you could click on page 2. Okay, how cool is that? So you can make your own navigation menu by using the proper theme and the pages that you want to include in that menu. You don't have to include them all. You can include 1 or 2 or 10 or 100 or all of them. It's up to you. Alright, that's it for this one. So when you configure WordPress to work properly for SEO purposes and human visitors, one of the first things you should think about are tags and categories. In this video we'll talk about tags, in the next video we'll talk about categories. Just a special note, you can create tags and categories on the fly when you're writing posts, but you can also do them ahead of time. I suggest that you do them ahead of time for the bulk of them, because that way you'll then be able to optimize your blog posts or your posts by keyword. Okay, so let me just show you on the WordPress site itself. When you go to posts, see how there are categories and there are tags. I haven't set anything up for this website yet, so you're going to walk along with me. So the first thing we want to talk about is tags. So think of tags in this way. When you get a piece of mail, and it's a bill, say for example, and let's say it's a magazine subscription to National Geographic, you may file that bill in your filing cabinet once you've paid it as a magazine subscription. That would be your category. You would further file that in a subfolder as a National Geographic subscription, and that would be your tag. So tags are more granular than categories. Categories are more broad-based. So, for example, in the online world, if you're talking about internet marketing, you may say, list building is a category, whereas an autoresponder sequence post is going to be tagged with whatever keywords you might have in that post. But you would file it as a category, list building, and as a tag might be autoresponder, Aweber, eye contact, 6 ways to build your list. It's a much more granular way to categorize things. Tags are, and it's a great way to help potential visitors find your content, because that may be exactly how they type in a search string. So think in those terms as well. If I want to find out how to lose 20 pounds in a month, I may type in to the Google search engine, how can I lose 20 pounds in a month? Now, being the smart internet marketer that you are, you may write a post that's titled how to lose 20 pounds in a month. You may tag that with many tags, but one of your tags might be how to lose 20 pounds in a month. On the other hand, you may put that in a category of lose weight or lose weight fast. Does that make sense? Okay. So in order to add tags, we just type in here. So first we go to posts, then we go to post tags. Then in the add new tag name field, you would add your tag. So since this is the ultimate guide to WordPress, tag might be how to configure WordPress. I might write a post about that. And then all I really need to do, you can fill in the slug. The slug will just be really a concatenation of these words with hyphens. And then you can put a description in there, but it's not necessary. Okay, add new tag. Watch over here what happens. Here's your new tag. If I were to go make a post by adding new, I could go down here, write my title, write my content. I would always choose a category, and we'll go over that in the next video. And then I can click on this link to choose from the most used tags. Because I haven't really used any tags, it really won't matter. But I could type in here how to configure, and then it pops up for me because I've already typed it in. Oops. And then just click add. And when you're done creating your content, you click publish. You're done. That's all there is to tags. So think of tags as a more granular categorization or way to describe your content to a potential visitor, especially a visitor through a search engine. Okay? Thanks. So in this video, we're going to show you how to go about getting a domain name. So one of the things I like to do after I do all of my keyword research, and that'll be in another video, but once I do my keyword research, I look for a domain that has my exact primary keyword phrase in it. It has to be an exact match. That's the ideal solution. If you can't get an exact match, try for something very close. So what I like to use is I like to use this thing called instant domain search, and then I just type in the domain that I want to go for, and you can see here that the .com is taken, and it's taken by me, but .net and .org are available. I like to choose .net next in the hierarchy, simply because it's known as a commercial entity, whereas .org, people tend to think that it's more of along the lines of an education or a .gov top-level domain. So we know that it's available, so then we go back to Namecheap, which is a very good domain name registrar, and we type in the domain we want, and we click on search. And hopefully we find here that .net is available. It is. And then we add it to the cart. If you have a coupon code, enter it right here. Click apply, and you'll see a discount here. I do happen to have a coupon code. Click apply. See that the price went down a little bit, and then we can check out. So when you get to this page, you can either create an account if you don't have one, or if you do have an account, you can just type in your username and password here and click login. And then you'll get to this page and click on the next step. And you can change your name servers here. We go over that in another video, or you can use their free name servers for right now. I will go ahead and do this. And I'm going to pause it for a second while I go retrieve that information. And then you go to save and continue. You can see that you've reserved this, the Ultimate Guide to WordPress.net in this case. Here's my price. And then you can pay with available funds or credit card or with PayPal. I usually use PayPal, so we'll go there. Then you click on login once you've typed in your email and PayPal password. Then you can check over the options, click on continue. And this can take a bit of time, so I'm going to pause it here. And this is what the page looks like when you're done. Once you see this page, you're done and your order is complete. Then what we do is we always want to verify. So let's go here to my account and then manage domains. Scroll all the way to the bottom where it should be, and you can see that it's right here. Click on that. Let's check our domain name server setup, and it's there. We'll show you how to do that in a different video, but it's there. And let's go back to my account, and we're done. Hi, the very first thing you want to do after you register a new domain name is to configure your name servers at your domain registrar. Domain registrars are similar. You need to look for a link called Domains or Manage My Account, and then find a link called Manage My Domains. So with Namecheap, what you do is you go to My Account and Manage Domains. And then you scroll down to your newly created domain name, and this is the one I just created. And you transfer DNS to webhost, and then in here under specify custom DNS servers, you type in your new name servers, and you should always have at least 2. And then you click on Save Changes and read the note that appears. It may take a few minutes, even a couple hours, for the name server information to propagate throughout the internet. But once that's done, you can then go to the first step of installing WordPress. If you're going to host more than one website with the same web host, you're going to have to take a step between changing your name servers and installing WordPress. And to do that, you go to Add-on Domains, type in your domain name, choose a password, and then click on Add Domain. And it may take a few minutes. But once you see this message, the add-on domain and your domain name has been created, you're done and you can move on to the next step. Okay, there are a couple ways to install WordPress. The first way is the old-fashioned way, and that's the manual way, and we'll show you that in a different video. But in this video, we're going to show you how to do it through basically a push-button system called Fantastico. There's another push-button system called Simple Scripts, which some other web hosts use. But for the purposes of this video, we're going to use Fantastico. So if you log into your cPanel and scroll down to Fantastico Deluxe, and then click on WordPress, and then click on New Installation, and then choose your domain, and then type in admin and some kind of password, and then choose an admin nickname, and then type in your email address, and then type in your site name, and then type in a description. Then click the button Install WordPress. And note several things. You want to write down what your database name is and your database username is. And you also want to make sure that the URL is right. And then you want to click on Finish Installation. And then what you want to do is you want to show, you want to record your password. Your username is admin. And then you want to click on this link in a couple minutes. It may not work right away, but it will work in a few minutes. So this is what it looks like. So I would suggest that you log in. There we go. This is what the website looks like by default. And that's it. Okay, in this video I'm going to show you how to use simple scripts to do a one-button installation of WordPress. So one of the web hosts I use, called Bluehost, actually uses simple scripts as their one-button installer for WordPress. So click on your control panel login, fill in all the information for your login, click on login, and then while that's loading, we're going to go to Namecheap, which is where I registered a new domain today. Don't pay attention to any of this stuff. Go to My Account, Manage Domains, log in, go find your domain, and mine is livermoretattoos.com, and then transfer DNS to webhost. This is a pretty simple step. Save changes. And that's done. Let's go see nope, it'll take a while. So anyway, we'll pause here and wait for the DNS to propagate, and then I'll come back. Okay, I'm back. So what we're going to do now is this is what it looks like when the DNS is propagated, because now the name servers have been propagated. They know that Bluehost is actually hosting the website. So let's go back to Bluehost and choose add-on domain, and it will be right here. And then type in your domain name. It should take just a second or 10. Okay, it's an add-on domain, so choose add-on versus part. Always choose add-on. Scroll down, let it create its own directory, which makes sense, and then the subdomain is going to be called this. That was all done automatically by virtue of our entering the domain right here. Okay, once all that's done and you've ensured that you've clicked on add-on domain, click down here on add domain. And this takes a little bit of time, maybe 30 seconds or so. So I'm going to pause here. Okay, this is what the screen looks like as or after you've added on your domain. Okay, so that's that. What we want to do now is go to cPanel up here. Alright, and then you want to scroll down to Software and Services, Simple Scripts. Wait for that page to load. And then scroll all the way down to WordPress. And then scroll all the way down to Install. And then you have to choose where you would like WordPress to be installed. So go find your domain name. It's right there. And then under Advanced Options, you can type in your website name. And you can either have it generate a random administrator username and password, or just choose one yourself. Automatically create a new database. You want to do that. That's a huge time saver. And in step 3, check the box as well. Then click on complete. And you can see here that the status is ready to process. Now the status is at 25%, and it goes pretty quick from here. Okay. Copy your password. Use your login URL. Type in your admin username, copy your password, and then click login. Okay. This is what the website looks like, which will be not much. Little more tattoos, just another WordPress site. Here's your standard first post. Here's your archives and meta, sample page, all that kind of stuff. So that's that on installing WordPress with simple scripts. After installing WordPress, the next thing you're going to want to do is customize WordPress by installing a theme you like, installing plugins that extend the functionality of the core WordPress installation, as well as making some customizations to plugins, headers, footers, themes, etc. So the first thing we want to tackle is themes. So if you go to your WordPress dashboard and click on Appearance and then Themes, you will see that the 2010 theme is installed by default, and it looks like this. Now, just to give you a little bit of background, WordPress web pages are comprised of 4 basic parts. There's the header, the footer, the sidebar, and the content. And what happens is, on the server side, the server actually uses those 4 pieces, assembles all the parts on the fly, and then renders the page. So what we're going to do now is install a theme, and there are a few different ways to install themes, and I'm going to show them to you. The first way is to click on this tab called Install Themes, and then let's just search for something. We're going to look for, let's see, one with a left sidebar. And then let's find a theme. And then let's just preview a theme. That's what our website will look like once we activate it. So I don't like that one, so let's pick this one. We're going to just say install. And install now. And then activate. And we'll take a look at what that looks like by reloading our page. You can see that everything's changed, even though I haven't changed a single thing with respect to content or copyrights or links or comments or anything like that. So you can see how the theme changed. We will go back. I'll show you also how to go back to a theme you had already previously installed. All you do is go down here under available themes, click activate, and then reload your page, and that's what it looks like. So that's way number one. Install themes and then find one. Another way is to upload a theme by clicking on browse and then going and finding a theme that you've downloaded. And it's got to be a zip file. So I'll pick Lemon Twist and then click on install now and then activate. And then let's go reload our page. And that's what it looks like. Okay. Let's go back and reactivate the one the basic one, and make sure that it loads. Good. The last basic way to do this is to use an FTP client like FileZilla. Log in, go to your domain, find WP content and then themes, and then what you want to do is take, go back to my computer, find a theme that I want to install, and we'll install Genesis. So the easiest way to do that is to drag this unzipped folder over to the themes folder and wait for it to load. And you'll see that there are 50 or so files left. When those are done, we can then go back to our dashboard. Let's go back to our dashboard, reload this page, and you see Genesis here now, right here. Activate that. And let's go reload our page. And that's what it looks like. So pretty basic stuff. 3 ways. 1 is to go find a theme within WordPress. 2 is to upload a zipped file that contains your theme files. And number 3 is to FTP an unzipped folder that contains your themes, or that contains the theme you want. Okay, that's it.